everybody, this is Elizabeth Boweries from the Revitalized family, and I'm coming to you today as I'm going to get my daughter from the bus stop. But I do a lot of reading, I do a lot of internet stuff, and what ends up happening is, like a year ago, I went through something where I thought I had a stroke. And I had this feeling, this solid feeling going up the side of my neck, and my vision closed off a bit. I lost the peripheral vision, and what ended up happening was all the color went out of my vision, and it was like cloud cover came in and everything turned gray, and I just got very, very dizzy and almost passed out. Well, the very next day, I went to the doctor's office, and what ended up happening was that I told the doctor what happened, and I told him that I thought I had a stroke, and he didn't want to listen to me. So he examined me, and I thought he was absolutely nuts, because he told me that I hadn't had a stroke, that what I had was something called an ocular migraine. And I've had migraines. Migraines are painful little doohickeys. They do not just let up. They drop you to your knees. They make you throw up. They're terrible. And that was not what I went through. What I went through was all this pressure, like somebody squeezing the top of my head. And it didn't hurt. It just felt like my head was a sponge and somebody was squishing it. But it caused that whole dizzy, falling over feeling, and that whole, vision contraction thing where I lost the peripheral vision, I lost all the color in my vision, and everything looked like it was in a haze. So I didn't believe him. And we have a really good optometrist. And I went to go see him because he had been the one that had found the problem with my son's optic nerve and everything. So I went to him and I told him the same story, that I thought I had a stroke, that the doctor kind of turned around and just basically told me it was an ocular migraine and dismissed it all and said, just take migraine medicine. So I'm talking to the ophthalmologist, and he's explained to me that yes, it was an ocular migraine, but I know it doesn't hurt, but there's a risk with an ocular migraine. What happens is during an ocular migraine, the blood flow to your optic nerve is cut off because the blood vessels are tightening up and not letting any blood flow or oxygen in through the nerve. So when you have an ocular migraine, you have to take the medicine as soon as you possibly can for the migraine in order to stop the restriction of the blood vessels, because otherwise there's nerve damage that happens to your optic nerve. And I used to have really, really good vision. I still have better vision than most people, but now I've got these problems that are cropping up as a result of the optical migraines. And so my vision gets all screwed up, not during normal things, but when I'm reading. It gets all blurry and hazy on me when I'm reading. And I've been waking up having these ocular migraines for the last couple months. And they've been getting increasingly worse in the last 2 weeks. So I went and I visited him yesterday. And he checked my eyes. My prescription has increased, so I need stronger glasses to read. I don't necessarily need them when I'm driving, but I do need them to read. And but all in all, he said that he felt that I was doing really well because I'm not taking migraine medicine on a regular basis. I'm taking ibuprofen when it's needed, when I recognize the migraines. But my concern was that there was going to be additional nerve damage because I'm waking up with the migraines. And I didn't know how long before I wake up the migraines are going on, so I don't know if there's any damage occurring. But I wanted to share this with you guys because we all go through all these different medical things that happen to us, and we don't really know what they may lead to. And he checked out my nerve because as often as I'm complaining about the ocular migraines, He wanted to make sure that it wasn't a tumor that was happening in my brain and putting pressure on my eyes and my optical nerve. But he did tell me that when things happen like this on a regular basis, it's really, really important to go to see the ophthalmologist, have them check your nerve for damage. If there is nerve damage happening, or if there's additional pressure and they're not sure, they'll send you to the doctor to have testing done to make sure that there isn't a tumor. But it's not something that you should just brush aside as unimportant. It could have been a stroke. It could have been damage to the optical nerve, and it could have been a tumor. I'm lucky in that the damage I've had to my optical nerve is minimal. But it wasn't painful. It was like having your head squished. Like right before someone grabs you to give you a noogie or something like that when they're playing around. It didn't hurt. If it wasn't for the fact that that first initial time I had the pressure on my neck, I never would have thought to go to the doctor in the first place. And if I hadn't gone, I would have never known that it was something that could affect my optical nerve. So that said, I just wanted to share it with you. And I hope that some of you find this beneficial. And if you're experiencing anything like that, go to the ophthalmologist, get your eyes checked out, and make sure it's not something that could be highly detrimental to you or your family. They need you around, and it's our jobs to stay there for them. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.